July 20th, 1973, Hong Kong woke up to a headline that stunned the world. Bruce Lee, the Dragon, was dead. He was just 32. Officially, a fatal reaction to a simple painkiller. But behind that explanation lies a maze of secrets, Triad threats, forbidden love, and a shadow of family curse. 50 years later, one question refuses to die. What really killed Bruce Lee? And more importantly, was it part of something much bigger than anyone dared imagine? Stay with me, because once you hear this story, you'll never look at Bruce Lee the same way again.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee.
Before he became the man who moved faster than film cameras could keep up, Bruce Lee was just a boy from Hong Kong, fiery, restless, and constantly in trouble. Born in San Francisco in 1940, Bruce Junfan Lee was a child of two worlds. His father, Lee Hoi Chuen, was a famous Cantonese opera performer. His mother, Grace Ho, was Eurasian, blending Chinese and German heritage. By age 3, Bruce was already acting in Cantonese films, racking up over 20 childhood credits. But behind the camera, life wasn't glamorous. As a teenager, Bruce became notorious for street fights and gang run-ins. His parents feared he'd end up dead or in prison. Desperate to save him, they enrolled him under Wing Chun master Ip Man. Martial arts became Bruce's salvation and his obsession. But he was never satisfied with tradition. Why must we move this way, he'd ask. Why not a better way? That questioning spirit would lead him to create his own fighting philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. It wasn't just martial arts, it was Bruce's entire life philosophy.
Be water, my friend.
At 18, Bruce's parents shipped him to America, hoping distance would save his life. In Seattle, he taught martial arts to survive. He enrolled at the University of Washington, studying philosophy and drama, dreaming of combining martial arts with acting. But Hollywood in the 1960s wasn't ready for a Chinese leading man. Casting agents offered him roles as exotic villains or silent henchmen. When producers launched the TV series Kung Fu, Bruce auditioned for the lead. The role went instead to David Carradine, a white actor. Hollywood's rejection stung. But Bruce refused to be sidelined. He once said, "If you love life, don't waste time, for time is what life is made of." Determined to take control, Bruce returned to Hong Kong, and everything changed overnight. In 1971, Bruce arrived in Hong Kong, virtually unknown there as an adult, but the locals hadn't forgotten the child from years before. He signed with Golden Harvest Studios, his first film. The Big Boss was meant to be a modest hit. Instead, it shattered Hong Kong box office records. Audiences were mesmerized by a new kind of hero, fast, ripped, and unstoppable. One film led to another, Fist of Fury, then Way of the Dragon, where Bruce battled Chuck Norris in the Roman Coliseum, one of cinema's greatest fight scenes. Bruce is no longer just an actor. He was a cultural revolution. For decades, Asian men were portrayed in Hollywood as weak, subservient, or comic relief. Bruce demolished that stereotype. He was strong, charismatic, and utterly authentic. But Bruce's fame brought more than movie deals. It drew the attention of the Triads, Hong Kong's powerful crime syndicates who controlled much of the film industry. At first, Bruce cooperated, but as his fame grew, so did his independence. He wanted creative control, writing his own scripts, choreographing his own fights. That didn't sit well with the old guard, and that's when the threats began. By 1973, Bruce was caught between two worlds, Hollywood and Hong Kong. He was finishing Enter the Dragon, his first major American production, and working on Game of Death, his passion project. Behind the scenes, he was receiving mysterious phone calls, wanting him to back off, exposing Triad's involvement in the film business. Bruce had begun collecting documents about organized crime's influence in Hong Kong cinema. He planned to reveal it once he was secure in Hollywood, but the Triads allegedly saw him as a threat. A popular rumor claimed a price was placed on his head, and that his death was a message to others who dared challenge the system. Meanwhile, Bruce's personal life grew chaotic. Rumors swirled about an affair with actress Betty Ting Pei. Some said Bruce planned to leave his wife, Linda. Others insisted he and Betty were simply working on a new film. Either way, Bruce seemed increasingly exhausted. In May 1973, he collapsed during post-production work, suffering a seizure and brain swelling. Doctors diagnosed cerebral edema, swelling of the brain. Bruce recovered, but the scare haunted him. Then came the fateful day, July 20th, 1973. That afternoon, Bruce visited Betty Ting Pei's apartment for script revisions. Around 7 p.m., he complained of a headache. Betty offered him an equagesic tablet, a mixture of aspirin and a tranquilizer. Bruce lay down to rest and never woke up. Hours later, Bruce was rushed to Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Rigor mortis had already begun. Doctors pronounced him dead at 1:15 a.m. The official cause of death, cerebral edema, supposedly triggered by an allergic reaction to the pill. But many found that explanation suspicious. Why? Timing. Bruce went from healthy to dead in minutes. A typical drug reaction doesn't strike so suddenly. Previous collapse. Just 2 months earlier, he'd suffered a similar brain swelling. Secrecy. Early reports falsely claimed Bruce died at home. Why hide that he'd been at Betty's apartment? Missing evidence. Police never recovered the equagesic bottle. Phone records vanished. Betty's apartment was scrubbed clean before police arrived. Some believe the Triads poisoned Bruce. Others think Betty Ting Pei was coerced to cover up foul play. And then there's the supernatural explanation. Many Chinese fans believe Bruce Lee fell victim to a family curse. As a child, Bruce was so sickly that his parents nicknamed him Little Phoenix, hoping to fool evil spirits. Superstitions haunted him all his life. But the strangest evidence comes from his own family. In 1993, exactly 20 years after Bruce's death, his son Brandon Lee died in a freak accident on the set of The Crow. A prop gun fired a real bullet, killing him instantly. Like his father, Brandon was 28, on the cusp of stardom. Coincidence or something more? Bruce himself once said, "If I die young, I hope I'll be remembered not for how I died, but for how I lived." Whether Bruce Lee died by accident, murder, or family curse, one fact remains undeniable. His legend is immortal. He smashed racial barriers, changed how the world saw Asian heroes, and left a philosophy that transcends martial arts. His films still earn millions worldwide. His wisdom still echoes. Perhaps the mystery of Bruce Lee's death will never be solved. But in life, he accomplished what few ever do. He became eternal. So, what do you think? Was Bruce Lee's death a tragic accident, a murder, or something even stranger? Let us know your thoughts below and subscribe to Echoed for more untold stories from the shadows of history.